Welcome to SoloVex. I am Vex, obviously, or Vexus, whichever one you decide you want to call me. That is absolutely fine. Don't mind me, I will probably be drinking a lot of water during this video as I am trying to improve my overall health and get fit. Now, I'm going to produce two videos today. This one, then I'm going to jump over to Twitch under SoloVex, which will be my new channel that I will launch today, and play Minecraft. Now, I haven't really done Minecraft before. I dabbled in it a bit, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, but that isn't that's for another video. This is this one. This one, I'm going to get real with you, and it's gonna suck, especially for me. So I want to tell you a bit about me and my backstory and how I've lived with depression and anxiety for years, how I've wanted to, well, you get it. I'm not going to say it, but you could kind of get it. The darkness that anxiety and depression breeds brings you close to an abyssal edge. I've stared into that darkness, and it has definitely stared at me back and whispered in my ear, a little closer. That's all you need. A little closer. Come on. Just step off the edge. Everything will be fine once I consume you. But to the darkness, I say this. Come try and consume me. Because I'm going to burn brighter than I ever have. Because in the words and the title of one of my favourite Killswitch Engage songs, this fire will burn always. And when I burn brighter and harder than I ever have, I will burn away that darkness around me. And I will finally be free. Now, into my backstory of living with depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed at a young age. I was put on pills. I got told that, antidepressants are the way to go. And that it's just a chemical imbalance in my brain. And it is somewhat true. Probably is true, scientifically speaking. But those antidepressants, for me, they didn't do anything except suppress my emotion and make me an emotionless husk. I walked through day-to-day life like a zombie. Now, that might not be the case for everybody, so I'm not trying to discourage you from your antidepressants. I most certainly do not want you to stop taking your antidepressants if they are working for you. But if they're not working for you, you need to tell your doctors. You need to tell somebody. You need to get what is right for you. Now, as for that, I moved out when I was 16 because I wanted to meet my real father. My stepdad and not my stepmom, my mother, they were great. Right? They handed me everything I'd ever wanted. But unfortunately, that was a trap in its own way. Yes, you can hand your child whatever you want to give them. Give them the world in the palm of their hands. But if you don't teach them respect, dignity, that kind of stuff, then handing them everything they want on the planet is no good for them. I was like that. I got everything given to me. Unfortunately, the one thing it didn't teach me was how to adult or how to be a man. Now, the definition of being a man has obviously changed over the last 15 years. Right? Men are now a little bit more vulnerable because they've been told they're allowed to show their emotions, and I agree. Nobody should ever have to bottle their emotions into a bottle. That's never good. Right? I am one of those men. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm proud of it. But unfortunately, it does mean that I get hurt a lot more often than I would like. But I figure if I keep my heart locked away, that I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to achieve anything. I'm just going to remain in the same stage of my life. Now, call me pathetic, call me weak all you want. I don't care. I will wear my heart on my shoulder because if I don't, I won't get better. Now, when I moved out, I went into a place that wasn't good for me. My father at the time was not a nice person. His partner at the time was not a nice person, and I didn't get along with my sisters because I only knew how to get along with my brothers because our families are too vastly different. My mum had all boys, he had a mixture, mostly girls. Then I moved home. And when I moved home, I thought I was going to be welcome back, but well, I was welcome back, but not welcome back to move into the house with them because the family had grown, I had new siblings, and they needed the space. So instead, I got a caravan. When I got a caravan, it was great for a while, and then I moved again after I met um, some people who were very dear to me, who I am still in contact with, who I still go and see, who I still love with all I have. Um, we moved into a not very nice part of Melbourne. It's never been known as a nice part of Melbourne, and it was fine during the day. But then Christmas rolled around 2019. I had a bit too much to drink and I was intoxicated, and I convinced one of my housemates to walk home. And mate, if you were watching this, I am sorry. It was my decision that led us to what happened. Now, as for what happened, we got jumped on the way home for my phone that was playing music at the time. I do not blame my housemate for not wanting to hand the phone over, and I do not blame myself for wanting to walk away from that peacefully instead of having to try to put up a fight. Unfortunately, I got hit in the head from behind. I knew the person was there, but I took my eyes off them for a second, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the side of the pavement with my jaw broken. Teeth teeth everywhere. It was a mess. And my housemate also suffered. He had his glasses broken, he couldn't see, he was disorientated. We had to support each other getting home because not a single person on the side of the road while we were screaming for help stopped. Not a single person. If that isn't a kick, I don't know what is. I get it. Some people are, weary of that sort of thing. But if you're screaming, help, I'm injured, and I'm hurt, then yeah, it is a bit of a, how'd I say, dog move to look the other way. So after I got home, I went to hospital, and I had two surgeries. The first one was to correct my jaw. Then after a bit of recovery time, um, I got told that there was a 3 millimeter gap on the side and that I needed to go in for another surgery. Put me out of action even more. That was one of the darkest times of my life, along with the start of COVID, where I developed an alcohol problem, and it was a real problem. But then I had supportive people who intervened and stopped me from carrying down that path. Sorry. And to those people, I do thank you. And I really wish one of you was still around. Well, I say that, but I live with one of those people, but the other person helped just as much. They're the reason I'm still standing here. They're the reason I can put this camera on and I can face the world. They know who they are, and if they see it, I want you to know that I do love and appreciate you very much for helping me. Then life got better. I improved. I was in an online relationship, which I don't count as a relationship because it wasn't real, but it was so close that I was content. I'd never met this woman. She was in another country. I could put up a facade and pretend to be what I was not. And then, one fateful day, this amazing woman rocked up. She lifted my head from my screen and she said, "I see you." Those were the most powerful words that I'd ever experienced. She cracked the armor that I'd put up to defend myself. I fell in love instantly. She shined so bright. In this dark world, she ignited that fire. Then I made mistakes. I couldn't hold on. I couldn't change. I couldn't make the right moves. I'm not blaming anyone. My parents, her, anything. Except for my own problems. I don't know how to adult. And that's sad coming from somebody of my age now. But that's what this journey is about. It's about improving. I still love her. I will still always love her. That's never going to change. The door is always open. Some people might call me names. Some people might think that, I'm doing this for her. But even if she isn't the one that walks through that door, I'm no good for anybody. Not in the current state I am in. That's why I'm taking this journey, to improve myself. So that way, if she ever does walk through that door, or somebody else walks through that door, that I'm going to be ready this time around to prove that I can do this, that I am who I say I am. Now, call me whatever you want for believing in true love, but there is a quote out there that I'm not sure if I've already quoted in this video, so I'm going to quote it again, just in case. If you're a lover, you have to be a fighter. Because without fighting for your love, what kind of love do you have? And I am unfortunately a little too late on that side. I've had horrible, horrible times on dating apps, being social, going out, because I don't know how to act that way. I'm embarrassing to be around. I'm loud, rambunctious, I'm obnoxious. I apparently love the sound of my voice too much. So I never be quiet, and I'm always talking. Now, there are some other very powerful quotes by some other people that I'd like to quote off before I finish this video, because hopefully these quotes will give you inspiration as well as me. Keanu Reeves on Grief and Love. Grief changes shape. It never ends. People have a misconception that you could deal with it and say, it's gone and I'm better. That's not true, because when the people you love are gone, you are truly alone. Robin Williams on Compassion. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. Be kind, always. Heath Ledger on Real Connections. Everyone you meet asks if you have a career, if you are married, if you have your own house, as if life is some kind of grocery list. But nobody ever asks, are you happy? Jim Carrey on Love and Courage. You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take the chance on what you do love. Jim Carrey, one of my favourite actors. Matthew McConaughey on self-discovery and love. The first step leads to our identity in life. Sorry, I messed that up. Let me try that one again. The first step that leads to our identity in life is usually not I know who I am, but rather I know who I am not. The process eliminates who you are not first, and you are left with who you are. And that's when love can find you. Zendaya. If you can't respect me, then you don't deserve to be in my life. I'd rather be alone than respected by somebody who makes me question my own self-worth. So to all of you out there who are in the dark, like me, please remember the title of one of my favourite songs. This fire will burn, always. Kill switch engage. Vex, out.